YouTube, Uncle Lucky here, and welcome back to another episode of CBQ Hobbies. Today, as promised, the review of Divinity II. So, as you may or may not know, I'm not a guy who really goes outside of his comfort zone too much when it comes to collecting comic books. Said it 1,000 times, I am a DC guy with a couple of Marvel comic books that I collect. But every once in a while I will see something on the shelf and the cover will grab my attention. The thing about it is, to start it off, you don't have to know anything about the original Divinity series. I don't know anything about Divinity. I don't know how long it ran. I don't know if it was a 4 or 5 issue run or something that ran for a long time, because I don't collect outside of DC typically, so I don't know. So now the story in a nutshell, because I'm not going to give too much away for anybody who hasn't read this yet or is interested in reading it. We're just going to give you the basic storyline. Apparently from the first Divinity series, during the Cold War, the 1960s, the Russians were in the space race with the United States, and they launched 3 cosmonauts out into the nether. When they did this, the cosmonauts drifted and were never basically seen or heard from again. They crash landed on a planet. In the original Divinity series, one of the cosmonauts got special powers from this planet that he landed on, came back to Earth, and they named him Divinity. He's a superhero character, a Russian good guy, I'm guessing, defender type of character, and he came back to Earth, and that's where his character stands. But they never explain what happened to the other 2 cosmonauts. That's where the story picks up, is explaining the other 2 cosmonauts and their journey, where they ended up, and one of them coming back to Earth. And she's pissed. Now let's get into art. The penciler is Trevor Harrison. I'm terrible with names if you can't tell. And ink is by Ryan Wynn. I will tell you, the group of people that got together doing this comic book, just beautiful. I'll show you these covers. Now again, these comic books are by Valiant. I have never collected a Valiant comic book in my life. Ever. But the covers are just, they grab you. They really do. This white and red for the whole, Russian, back in the Cold War 60s, they grabbed this pretty well. Now for me, the story, you don't have to have the original Divinity series to understand what's going on. It's perfectly explained. It actually leads in so well into the other character's story that you immediately know what's going on. Not having ever read or heard of Divinity, it pulled me in quick enough, and I knew what was going on that I didn't have to read the other one. But after reading this and looking at such beautiful artwork, I think I might go back and look at the original Divinity if they have the same people doing it, because this is just, to me, probably so far the best read of the year, and that's no lie. So let's wrap this all up. This is a really, really good comic book. I don't know, honestly, I didn't even really put that much research into this comic book. It's just one of those ones that it grabbed and captivated and did all the things it should have done, even though I was buying it for beautiful cover art. It ends up being a really good story thus far. And being into issue number 3, I don't know where it's going from here. I don't know if it's going to be a 5, 10, 15, 20 issue run, a short stack. I don't know, because I don't honestly know anything about Valiant Comics and how they do their business. So if they can keep this one going for a little while, it would be really interesting. Maybe a 12-issue run or something, a year-long series. I don't know. Not sure where they're going to go from here, but I can tell you, with these covers and this artwork, this is a must-buy. if you're into good old-fashioned sci-fi, a little bit of science fiction, characters that aren't completely crazily over the top, nuttily out there, go out and buy this. It's good. It's got a story to tell. It's an interesting perspective, looking at everything from more of the Russian point of view as the American point of view. That's kind of the key part to it that made this comic book a little bit more interesting than it would have been if it was just how the Americans see everything. So go out and buy it. It's good. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Have a good one.